Hello and welcome to the Creative Cow Show. Happy New Year, happy 2023. Today, Creative Cow speaks with David Colantuoni. He is the VP of Product Management at Avid. We're going to look at some trends that are going to be affecting production teams here in 2023. Hello, Dave, and thank you for being here.
You're very welcome. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So, Dave, what types of trends are we seeing for production team workflows coming up here in 2023?
So obviously, being in product management, we're constantly looking at these sort of things. And we spend a lot of time with our customers actually trying to look ahead, at least in the short and long term. And we just recently, in the middle of last year and coming up to the fall, spent a number of months in our Avid Community Association working with them and trying to figure out trends for 23. And I think there's a lot of different things that are happening. We still see this very, very large demand for content that to be created. And that's high quality, highly produced content that's highly differentiated. And that's driven by the things that you consume every day, the streaming media platforms that are constantly emerging and needing this and never-ending sort of quest for content. That really drives efficiencies and workflows. At the same time, we see things even on news production where we're seeing a lot of trends around consolidation and things like working from anywhere and things like that. So for me, at least on the content creation side, on the post-production side, it's a sort of emergence of so much content being created and the need for that constant refresh to keep people interested in streaming platforms. And that's translating into trends like efficiencies and workflows, working and finding talent anywhere, finding things like AI, cloud, and AI machine learning and cloud deployment. There's some really strong trends that are really forcing people to reevaluate the way they produce content so much more efficiently, so much more quickly, and so much of high quality to differentiate it. So yeah, hopefully I got you close enough to ask another question, but that, there's just so much going on. There's like this revolution of content that's being created, and Avid's really happy to be right in the middle of it for sure.
And what issues do you think are driving these trends from the perspective of technology or the perspective of business?
There's two things that stand out that we've been talking to our customers about. One is workflow efficiency, and they play into each other a little bit. The second one is talent. We have spent so much time talking to our customers about finding the right people to work and to do the work. There's shortages around the whole production community in things like assistant editors and things like that. So we're hearing from our customers that Avid, you need to make things more efficient because we don't have enough people to do the work. That means I need to find people who can work remotely because I have to expand access to the talent that's available to me. But I also need our workflows to emerge. And that means that things like cloud can bring efficiency, for instance, because you can have people that are located anywhere collaborating on our cloud platform. So we can offer things like edit on demand, where you have a media composer and Nexis fully deployed on the cloud that can be accessible literally anywhere. So we really see of the topics, I would say actually my number two, talent to do the work, is really one of the more pressing issues we see in the industry right now. And that's forcing these traditional workflows to sort of be revisited. Now, what really happened is because of COVID, that was kind of in the mix anyway. Very quickly, obviously, people had to figure out how to rework their workflows so people could be located anywhere or working from home and things like that. But it really has accelerated since then because COVID forced more people to consume content, and therefore you saw this really strong emergence of streaming platforms that caused the need for more content to be created, that caused the need for more people to do the work. It caused the need for more people to be working more efficiently. And since they were working from home, we sort of it's exploded since then. So yeah, I think those are two of the biggest things we see.
So how can companies maximize their workflow efficiency? Like what role does this year's technology have in maximizing these workflows?
Yeah, so our approach to it, and I've seen other companies take this approach too in the industry. Our approach is twofold. One, we're building out our cloud platforms, right? So that means bringing tools to allow collaboration, working in the cloud, so talent can be located anywhere. But also, cloud deployment brings another sort of set of complexities that have to be addressed. So some customers are asking us, okay, I'm not ready to make that move yet. I really want to take my existing infrastructure and try to make things as not interrupt my workflows and not interrupt the editors, not interrupt the people doing the work, but really evolve the existing infrastructure I have and try to add on technology that can expand it and allow it to do similar things that you can do in the cloud. And we've developed products like that at Avid in the last 12 months, things like Nexis Edge. And that was really an opportunity for us to take known workflows, known products like Media Composer, and literally bring that experience to editors as though they have a edit suite in their home. So they should have that same sort of experience interacting with Media Composer and Nexus. And we created a whole bunch of technology that sort of sits in the background and allows customers and editors to just work. And so there's really two different angles to it. And it's all centered around team collaboration. It's all centered around workflow efficiency. It's all centered around not disrupting sort of the workers' workflows, so that they have to learn something new and retrain. Because honestly, if you're looking for editors or assistant editors or people in VFX, they don't have time to learn something new. They don't have time to spend time. They don't have time to spend sort of learning a new technology. They really need to get their work done. So we're trying to take that practical approach to things. And honestly, the industry in many different areas are looking at ways of doing this too. So yeah, but I feel like we're trying to provide customers with as much choice and opportunity in order for them to get there.
Can you speak about some of the technologies that are enabling these advances in workflows? Are we talking about cloud or storage, remote collaboration?
Yeah, so there's a lot at Avid, because our Avid's unique in that we serve a lot of different workflows and a lot of different markets. So anything from news and sports to entertainment to post-production, we have a lot of different things that are happening here to enable collaboration. I think for the purposes of our discussion today, I really think there's a couple of things that stand out. One, that product I just talked about, Nexus Edge, which is new in the market in the last 4 or 5 months, that really has taken existing infrastructure and expanding it. What we've done is we've created a set of services that allow proxies to be created on people's Nexus using server technology and then stream directly to the editor. So they don't really know that they don't have to have their media on-prem. Their Nexus is located somewhere else. And they really just work with their experience that they're used to. So that's one thing where we took a whole bunch of technology, bundled up proxy services, proxy creation, playback, and figuring out things like intelligent caching and things like that. We serve that up to the end user. They don't know it's happening, but it's there. I think the other thing that we offer is a lot of different ways of deploying in the cloud. I talked a little bit about Nexus in the cloud and Media Composer in the cloud. And today we work and allow an edit on demand scenario where you can literally just light up a Media Composer, a group of Media Composers and a Nexus in the cloud. Someone has a computer on-prem, they're logging in and editing Media Composer virtually, and accessing their media through the cloud. And the experience is, again, very much the same that they're used to. There's other things that we do. We have collaboration products like Media Central Collaborate. That allows a more advanced team of people to really use one tool set to do things in order to put together content in a more collaborative way so they can see what other people are doing. It's in a web browser. So we really have a lot of different tools that we provide, and a lot of different pieces of technology.
You see the media and entertainment industry changing, like in terms of the content that it produces, changes that will have a certain impact on these production teams?
I think so. I think you're going to start to see, of course, everyone's always looking for more efficiency. There's no question about it. That plays itself out into more cloud deployment, more tools in the cloud, more native cloud applications that are purpose-built for the cloud. But it also lends itself to things like AI and machines doing some menial tasks. For instance, I think very quickly you're going to start to see more and more of those things evolving in the market. The interesting piece that I was going to reference was, we actually were talking to a couple of different groups of editors. And I would say, like, as much as right before COVID, there was a lot of fear about things like AI and machine learning from editors. They were like, I feel like it's going to take part of my job. I'm not sure, it's unknown. I don't want machines doing editing and things like that. Of course, they've come to realize that no, the creative part of their job is their specialty, right? And there's not humans have to do that. But what they are really, really asking us for is to please help their assistants. Their assistants are burdened doing all these different tasks that is really getting in the way of their editorial session. So they're really wanting us to create tools and utilize technology that advances the ability to give them all those tasks that can be sort of done on the side by machines and allows them to create content. And they were literally begging us, please, our assistant editors are burdened doing all these things that they do. We really need you to help them and make their workflows way more efficient so that they can come back to helping us doing creative tasks. So yeah, that was a very big conversation that we had. We could see the editors are really stressed out because they have so much work to do. So I think you'll see those changes coming. I also think you'll see a lot more, as I was referring to more, a lot more robust tools and particularly in the cloud, allowing for concurrent collaboration amongst team members located wherever they need to be in order to get a production done. And that means that you can do things like potentially, log clips using AI, and that's being all done in the cloud, or making proxy files that are being created automatically generated in the cloud. And so yeah, there's a lot of evolution that we see here, particularly on team collaboration.
So, how are production teams themselves changing the way that they collaborate in this atmosphere, such as perhaps audio and video units?
One of the things we've been hearing too is, the evolution of sort of the passing of from application to application takes too much time. We want to do things that are included in an application, or at least have things that are purpose built that allow for workflows to get more efficient. And what we hear the most about, since we happen to have two of the industry tools that are used in content creation, Media Composer and Pro Tools, we really get a lot of requests for people to be way more efficient from picture and sound workflows and back again. So, we started an effort a year ago to really focus on this. We used our Avid Community Association. We have a subcommittee that's advising us on doing and creating workflows to make this much more efficient. And we just released our first release in December. So we have a way to actually export a session file from Media Composer to Pro Tools. So it's super exciting. But really, that was born out of this. Avid, you need to make your workflows more efficient. And not only that, it can no longer be this sort of assembly line of doing productions, A to B to C to D. It's not that anymore. It's A and D and C all collaborating at one time, creating content at the same time. So your workflows have to evolve, and that was one of the first pieces we're introduced for that, and it's going to get much more. Our plans are grand there. Our plans are going to be much more sophisticated than that.
And what sort of benefits are these production teams starting to see right now from leveraging cloud collaboration and will likely continue to see in 2023?
If you take things, and by the way, this is one of the sort of beautiful things about the Nexis Edge component that I talked about earlier. But in the cloud, you can take advantage of the powerful collaboration capabilities that exist with Nexus today and Media Composer. That sort of project level, bin level collaboration that happens between multiple editors or multiple assistants and editors or whomever is interacting with Media Composer. So the cloud really affords the capability of having a centrally located content depository of where all of your media sits. That's your Nexus, and having a pool of media composers that editors can access and access that media all at the same time, not having to download, not having to upload. It's all just there for them to spin up, start working, spin down, and then go back to work the next day when they're ready. But that means that they get to collaborate utilizing the power of project and bin collaboration that we've had in Media Composer for a long time in the cloud. So it really does help efficiency. Now, what's really nice about that is you can have an editor in New York or LA. You could have a production being done in Texas, and maybe they're uploading media, and then the editors can instantly start collaborating on both coasts at the same time.
Production teams are starting to benefit from redesigning their workflows too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's all of it is right. The same things apply. The very same things apply for production teams. It's all centered around sort of this repository nexus. And actually you could put Media Central in there too if you wanted to have an asset management system tracking and metadata and assets for you, collaborating amongst the Nexus and the editors. And also that introduces another level of usability and collaboration, because there's a browser editor inside of Media Central. There's that Collaborate app I talked about. So I think, yeah, production teams utilize it the same very way.
What kind of business considerations will need to be taken into account in terms of cutting costs and leveraging technology to cut costs?
So from Avid's perspective, you know, it's really around taking products and transitioning them from a general, Avid's been around for a long time now. Our products were developed for on-prem, and we've been doing an enormous amount of work over the last many years around virtualization, and now that leads to more cloud deployment. So it really does mean the company has to transition itself from a more on-prem service orientated company to a cloud service company. And that means that we have to interact with like production companies or even resellers who help sell our products and make sure that they're able to participate and service customers the right way. But it also, more importantly, means we need to build a platform out that allows customers to buy, to spin up, to spin down, to monitor, to watch dashboards on their usage, to utilize and be very efficient in their costs. So building a whole underneath architecture around SaaS, self-deployment, and managing costs and dashboarding, and also taking our products and transitioning them so they're cloud native is quite a endeavor. And we're in the middle of it. We've been doing it for a number of years. We're going to continue to do it for a couple more years. But I think like that that is the benefit to Avid. There's a big investment going in R&D to do this. And we're halfway through it, maybe. I don't know. We've been doing it a long time. And I know it wasn't sure if you took the Avid side of the business, but the production side of the business is a little bit different. And that's, cloud affords them the ability to really utilize the products when they need it. Traditionally in on-prem, you buy a Nexus, you buy some Media Composer licenses, you buy Media Central, and you use it on-prem, and it's available to you all the time. You need more licenses, you call us up, and we give you more licenses. The cloud affords, from a business standpoint, you literally, the usage is when you're using it. and you spin it down and you're not paying for it, then you need more licenses to add. You can add, you need to finish a project and add a few more editors. You can do that. You can add another editor pretty easily in the cloud. So and then spin them down when they're not using it or need it anymore. So it really does sort of have a whole bunch of business benefits that come along with it.
Do you believe that companies will still be able to succeed in the industry if they don't adapt to the cloud?
Oh, of course. Yeah, this is a long transition. Um, I mean, it's why we invested a lot in Nexis Edge. We have there's still customers that our goal is to support both of them, right? There's still customers that are concerned about security. There's still customers that have a large investment on-prem, and they really want to utilize and exhaust that investment that they made. So we're going to continue to enhance that technology. We just even introduced a brand new storage platform last year in the summer. We did an incremental upgrade to Nexus, where we redid the whole architecture and inner workings of how it worked, because we're seeing these emerging patterns around 4K and 8K and HDR, where people are needing more disk space. They're needing more faster disks. So Nexus is very scalable. The more disks you add to it, the more disk engines you add, the faster it can go. So we're going to continue to invest in that. And when customers are ready, we have a way for them to transition, or they can run on a hybrid environment. They can run both if they want to. So really, we have on-prem, hybrid, and cloud. Our workflows are going to support that for, I don't know, as long as I can see.
What trends do you see going away in 2023?
I think the thing I see most happening is on the editorial side. I really think there's a need for more common tools to collaborate together. And that's both our partners who we work with, someone like a Baselight or something like that. I think customers want to do things as efficiently as possible, and they want to do things in the tools in the same tool. And they really, really want to build out how they work that way. This sort of machine way of doing things that's gone away, one application to another application to another application, that's too inefficient. So I really see that sort of peeling away. And I think that's one of the trends on the editorial side. I think yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing. And I think that's the biggest thing we heard from sort of the technology part of workflows from our customer association meetings.
Thank you so much for stopping to talk with us today, Dave. We have learned a lot.
You're very welcome. It's nice to see you. I'm glad I was here. Thanks.